Okay, so I'm glad you came back in today. I know we talked a little bit last time about what brought you in. Why don't you tell me how your week's been since I last saw you?
Well, my week's been pretty bad. I'm just really struggling with everything that's going on right now and trying to do good things, but it's really hard. And I just feel depressed about it. I don't know. Man.
So what are some of those things you're struggling with?
Well, my kids, I don't have them, and they are my whole life. And I don't know, I don't even know where to begin to be able to have them and deal with all this, and it just makes me really depressed.
I hear you value your kids a lot. They're very important to you.
Yeah, they are. They're like my everything, like I'm a mother, like any mother feels that way about their kids, so.
That's understandable. So what are some of the barriers standing in your way of getting your kids back?
The courts. So, they want me to do certain things, and I guess I'll do it, but it just seems kind of pointless if I'm a good mom, so I don't see how them being where they are would be any, how's that good for them?
Right. So what are some of those things the court thinks that need to take place for you to get your kids back?
Well, I have to see you.
Mm-hmm.
Maintain a stable job. I have to go to that program, the IOP, I guess it's called, or something. I don't even really know. I just started, so. But, just all those little things. I think I have to, maintain a job. I don't even know. That's what I'm saying. It's just overwhelming, and there's a lot to be done. But I know the first thing I have to do is see you and go to that program.
And so what is the program supposed to be helping you with?
Stay off crack.
So your drug of choice.
Yeah.
Okay. So can I ask you how long you had been using crack?
Probably about 3 years.
And you're still currently using crack?
Well, I am, only have a couple days of not using it.
That's good.
So, I don't know. I understand it's bad and not, good, but also I get really stressed, and, this is probably, the worst thing to have happened. But, it gives me a lot of energy, so,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Right now, I'm, a couple days sober, so.
That's good. Okay, so we talked about some of the barriers to getting your kids back. What about some of I know you said that they want you to have a job and that you're not currently working.
Yeah.
What are some of the barriers to getting a job?
Well, they want me to go to this program. That's a decent amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know, what would I do? I always have a boyfriend and never really had to work, so I guess I just don't have a lot of experience with that anyways, so that could, I guess, stand in the way, if I don't have experience.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so it sounds like what the court is asking you to do would be to stop using drugs.
Yeah.
And that would probably help with getting a job, for sure. We know we can't get a job until we're off drugs.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, and then, with the end goal being to get your kids back, and you're doing a really good job by coming in here. You're on the right track, doing what they're asking you to do, and they're asking a lot. So what are some of the reasons to make this change?
Well, if I stay off crack, go get my kids back. I mean, that's the biggest thing, you know, the biggest reason, the biggest motivator. I hope it's enough, you know, because I don't know. I mean, just drugs have always been a part of my story. So if it wasn't crack, it's something else. And it's always helped me. I haven't ever really looked at it negatively until now. And even still, it's just kind of like foreign concept in a way, because I don't know. But I definitely need my kids back, and that would be top priority, a big reason to stop. And then, you know, just to get my kids back would be to get a job, and I have to stop to get a job. Even though I do kind of think it would help me, like, work a lot, you know, if I'm going to be working a lot. But I mean, I understand in a way why all this needs to happen.
Okay, so let me ask you, imagine what your life would look like in 2 to 5 years if you were able to stop using drugs. What would you want that to look like? What do you think it would look like?
I mean, hopefully by then I'd have my kids back. And hopefully working, steady job, and maybe not having to rely on something else to like get me through the day would be good. Definitely more money. That is one thing I know that I've thought about, is, you know, takes all my money, so. And then that affects my kids.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so, what would your life look like in 2 to 5 years if you weren't able to stop using drugs?
Ugh. It's actually kind of scary now that you say that, because I could not get my kids back. And in 2 to 5 years, who knows where they would be. By then, you know, they might be in foster care. It is scary. I guess I never really thought that I'd be doing this in 2 to 5 years. But I guess 2 to 5 years ago, I was doing the same thing. And it's gotten worse. So it's hard to tell. But I guess maybe it would get worse. I'm still on the fence, you know? So it's hard to figure it out.
It's a big change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really big change.
Right. And so, what makes you believe you can do this?
Well, I know I love my kids. So that's just like the biggest thing for me is, you know, I think maybe if I can't do it for me, I could do it for them, you know, because I know I have to do this to get them back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really like the pusher here. I know I can do things for my kids, you know, so I'm not a bad mom.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not. I mean, it may seem like it, but I'm not a bad mom, so.
Okay. So, you believe you can do this because you know you're a good mom,
Mm-hmm.
and you know that it's the only way to get your kids back.
Yeah.
And so, pretty confident.
Yeah. I think I could do anything for my kids. So I do feel pretty confident that I'll be able to.
Sounds like there's a lot riding on that fence.
Yeah.
Okay, so can I ask you, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most important, and 0 being not important at all, for right now, how important would it be for you to stop using drugs?
I mean, it's a 10. I can't allow my kids to be in foster care, you know, things happening that shouldn't happen in foster care, and I cannot deal with that.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most confident and 0 being, I definitely do not think that I can do this, how confident are you that you can stop using drugs?
Right now, probably like a 6 or 7. I mean, I know the need is at a 10. Like, I get that part.
Mm-hmm.
But being realistic, you know, probably at a 6 or 7.
Okay, so 6 or 7 is pretty good. What makes it that you're not at a 4 or 5?
Well, I just know that there's not, you know, a lot of options to continue on that way. And I guess I'm already do know, like, how it's affecting me and how it's not good. And that I do need to make that change. It's hard. So, you know, I've been through this before in a way where I've tried to stop and my confidence is just a little shaken because it's really hard to do.
Okay, so what I'm hearing you say is that it kind of feels like the end of a road here, and that's why your confidence is higher than it maybe has been before,
Yeah.
but that you have been here before,
Mm-hmm.
and so your confidence is not as high as it could be.
Right.
Because it's not your first time trying.
Right. Of course. So it makes it kind of like, well, maybe the same thing's just going to happen again and again, you know? I don't know.
Right. And so I'm going to go over this with you. I'll give you a copy of it right here to look at.
Thanks.
We start at number 1 over here and go around to number 4. And I'll just go through it with you. We don't need to
Okay.
write on it or anything.
Okay.
So this is a decisional balance, and we're going to follow those numbers around. So what are some of the advantages of not changing what you've been doing or not using drugs? What would be some of those advantages to keep doing what you're doing?
Well, one advantage is that, you know, change is scary, so I don't really want to have to go through all that. Like, I'm tired of, like, all this stuff, you know, always having to change or do this. Like, that's just a scary process. So I'd like to just be who I am in a way, you know, and do what I want to do when I want to do it. So if I don't make that change, you know, it's not, doesn't challenge me.
Right. Okay. And so number 2 over here, what are some of the disadvantages of continuing to use drugs?
It's not having my kids. It's kind of like the advantages and the disadvantages are the same in that I don't want to not change also, you know? And I mean, it's dangerous. Anything could happen at any time. I really don't want my kids to be in foster care or anything like that.
Right. So it would be a major disadvantage
Yeah.
because that's where they are right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So number 3, what are some of the disadvantages of changing? What are some of the disadvantages of what are some of the bad things that come along with stopping using drugs?
Well, there's a detox. It's
Mhm.
probably my worst, you know.
Right.
I've been experiencing it, but they do have me on something to
Mhm.
kind of help with that.
Right.
But I know they're going to be winging me lower and lower, and then I'll, you know, have those increased symptoms. So that's one of, you know, a big disadvantage of it. And it's scary. And, you know, I might have to change some things, like friends and where I go, and it's just like a lot of work, you know?
Right. Right. And so the last one here, what are some of the advantages of changing? So if you were to make this change and were able to stop using drugs, what are some of the advantages of that?
Well, I guess there's a lot. I mean, I wouldn't even really know, you know, because I've never done it, but I know, you know, people always tell you, like, it's just the beginning, and your life, like, things will happen that you never even imagined, and, you know, definitely having my kids and being able to be there for them in a new way, and I know they deserve that. I mean, they really do. If anything, they deserve it. So,
So what do you think you could commit to today as far as this change process? What are you willing to do now?
I'm willing to, you know, go to IOP after this. I know I'm gonna do that. they normally help with like coming up with goals and stuff that can help me. So maybe I'll like follow through on one of those, or maybe I'll just go to IOP. I don't know.
That's plenty. It's
Yeah.
plenty for today as far as a definite commitment towards making the change, going through that program, not only because it's something the courts are making you do,
Yeah.
but also because you still have a choice.
Yeah.
You don't have to. And that you're committed to doing that. So that's really great.
Thanks. Guess I never looked at it like that.
Yeah, no, it's not easy stuff. So, well, would you be willing to come back next week, maybe?
Yeah.
You think the same time would work well for you?
Yeah.
Okay.
We can do that.
So I'll see you in about 1 week.
Okay.
If you need me before then, you can call.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks. I appreciate it.